Hello and welcome to the FMSL podcast. Back again for episode 37. Now we do have a one-in-a-kind special guest joining us this evening. He's been around the league for as long as I have, so that's a pretty long time, and as long as probably Chrissy as well. So first, hang on. He's getting around. So first, I do have some breaking news to share with you once Chrissy gets on, and it is some sad breaking news. But first, we must give our lovely sponsor, Holston, for making this possible. They haven't, by the way. I'm just taking the piss. Welcome.
They definitely haven't.
I wish they did. Holston, if you're watching this, there you
They're
go.
not watching, Cam. They are not watching. Hello, my friend. How are you?
I'm good, man. How are you?
Yeah, good. Friday. It's been a long week.
Yeah, it is.
And actually, no. We had a bank holiday, so it hasn't been that long.
It's
but
been still a long week.
yeah, it's good to get the kids back to school. And I've only played 2 games this week, but they've been entertaining to say the least. Yeah, how you been on your FMSL week?
It's been. I'm glad he said FMSL week. I was going to give you a life story there. Steve's just heard all about that. But it's been an interesting week. 2 losses, 1 win, and on penalties. It was strange. Just sort of getting around my team, just get my head around things, how it's going to work. It's still not there yet. I've definitely cocked up my transfer window. Bingo to who anybody's playing that. But we will welcome first, before we say our news, we will welcome to one of the men who was part of the Union Ball Society in our league, and that is Mr. Stephen Richards.
How's it going, lads?
You all right?
One introduction.
Yeah,
What's an introduction?
yeah, been in the league a while, so I'm always known as one of the bold ones, so no point in changing now.
I think you might be the only one left.
Actually, I think you're right. Yeah,
I think you're the only one left.
Yeah, I'm on my own now.
The best
one. Until Lee gets a hold of Jake in the middle of Manchester tomorrow night and shaves his head off. So you've got that to look forward to. But yeah, so it's nice to have you on. But first, we do have some breaking news. Unfortunately, and it's very sad news, we've had a manager step down. Well, reportedly step down. Bit of a strange one. So we do have an opening. It is with our team Marseille. Joe Travis has reportedly left his post and left Douglas Luiz hanging by a thread. So if anybody would like to manage Marseille, yeah, you're more than welcome. You can tell Holston's taking stool.
But yeah, there is speculation. So get your names on the list. Get in contact with Cam, head of relations, and he'll try and put you through and see if we can get you a place in the team. But
but moving on to the pod now. But Steve has been here for you've been here a while, mate, haven't you? You basically
part of furniture. He's part of furniture.
He's part of furniture, isn't he?
I tried to leave once and it just drew me back. Couldn't leave.
That's the way.
Yeah,
that's the way. But you've been in here since we had a quick little brief talk about it before. It must have been FM21 because you were in the league when I joined, so it must have been around then.
Yeah, I think it was 21. Started with Monaco, and I think I took that over just after the very first transfer window when the league started up.
Ooh, and I think you did you leave during that first season?
Did I leave?
Yeah or no?
No, I came in.
No, I think you must have been. I think you must have been in 2020 because I had Monaco in 21.
Must have been then, yeah.
It must have been, yeah. God help us.
Time for
you always had some team.
Oh yeah, we were just talking about that a minute ago. How many teams? Couldn't remember them all, but
have you remembered now after your conversation?
Started with Monaco, then it was Union Berlin, Gremio, Copenhagen, and now West Ham.
You finally got a good one, to be fair.
Yeah, I think the problem's the manager, not the players or the team, to be honest with you.
But,
It's been a journey.
Yeah, to be fair, you've had a good run as a manager. Chrissy would say so himself. You've had a good run. You've been in the league a fair few years. You've won. You must have won some cups as well.
No, I won one playoff final, I think.
Is that it?
Yeah.
God,
Cam wouldn't have got you on if you knew that.
Oh, right. End of podcast. No,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
you've been around so long. I genuinely thought you might have won, a trophy. Jesus.
I think
That's
I won
not to make you feel bad, by the way. But...
No. I think I won the league when Aggie. There was me and Aggie, and we were pretty much level on points till the last game. But I think that was the last league of one of the seasons.
I'm trying to think who that would have been with, because Aggie's been.
I want to say Gremio, but I might be wrong.
Yeah, it could have been.
It was not Copenhagen.
No.
Definitely not.
No.
It must have been Gremio then.
I made a right mess of Copenhagen.
Go on, talk to her about that. Go on, talk to her about that.
Oh, mate.
You've got some interesting stories.
I remember coming in, and the team wasn't great, but whoever it was that had him before me had bought a load of youth. And we had Rooney there as well on the right wing. And then in the end, ended up selling him, sold all the youth, went for a bit of experience, and then they just kept retiring, getting no money back for him. And then I think that's why this season I've decided not to go with any future fees, because it just crippled me at Copenhagen, because every season it was just starting with a negative.
Yeah.
And I think this time with West Ham, I was just like, I'm not doing any future fees.
But do you think that the future fees is a good addition, or do you think it's a
It depends.
waiting to happen?
Yeah, I think it depends how you want to play the game, to be honest with you. If you start your first season, you can get a lot of good players in with your future fees. But then I think after that, if you're paying out 100 million plus on future fees, you're really banking on either a good youth intake or other people buying your players. And to be fair, the internal market at the minute isn't great, is it? So
yeah, I think
it's a risky one.
I think with that aspect, with the future fees, like you said, if you're spending 100 mil on future fees, you've got a guarantee to win the league, have a good cup run, or maybe even win a cup to be able to justify that. That's why I've gone the same route now. I know obviously we have future fees, but I'll cover it with another future fee coming in. I think that's not too bad, as long as you've got to back up. But like you say, these people coming in now, and they're starting with minus 50, minus 20. And it is definitely something that's happening a lot as we've gone down through the windows.
Yeah, I think that's why everybody starts to overprice the players, because they got to make such a gap up that you end up people asking for mega money just so they can go out and buy someone.
Yeah, it's quite funny, isn't it? We've gone from, I know the database to players are where we've took a lot more players out. The remaining players are quite expensive, but it has had a knock-on effect on the internal league.
Yeah, I think, but I suppose the other problem is you only need that one first big transfer to go through, and then all of a sudden, all the prices change. You have one deal that goes, I think that Luis Diaz deal for 160 million, and then the next minute, everybody's prices were like 200 million, 250.
Yeah.
Is that are a bog standard against some of the other ones.
I think it's hard. Sorry, Cam. So I just think it's hard because if you really want a player, and like obviously I don't know what the whole aspect was of Luis Diaz, but you will pay it to a certain degree. So in your head, you think, all right, it's a little bit overpriced, but it's not a bad deal. So I can see why people do that. I do get it. But I think everyone always asks for prices and things like that, so it's hard to. And I know for a fact, if it's a top player, like me and you did deal the other last week, if it's top player, then you expect to pay that amount. But I think if it's a mid to top player and they say 120 mil, you probably be able to knock them down. I think people just say that because they're worried, and then after a while they think, oh, actually, no.
Yeah, I'll take the deal.
Yeah, I think a lot of it's down to. I think a lot of that as well. What you're saying about the deals and stuff. You said the one big transfer has to go through, and then it just goes mental, and that has been proven over. God, how many transfer windows, Walter? Now we must have done probably about 20 transfer windows, but like at least all of them. We've done about 20 transfer windows, and it doesn't change because it's one big deal goes through and then the whole market shift. So you really want that to be on a Monday so you can get your deals done. And Chrissy, what you're saying there about your mid to top player. So give us a mid to top player roughly. Go on, give us one out. Give us one out of your team.
My team.
Yeah, your team that you got now.
They're all top, mate. Nah, who could I say is mid to top? Kirkes, who I've just signed.
Right, so let's say Kirkes, for instance. What's your valuation of him?
Well, I paid
genuine valuation.
I paid outright. If I was to sell in this window, this is no spoilers or anything. It never matters to me how the person plays in the league. I'm not one of them managers. So I paid 81 mil. If I was to sell him for whatever reason, I see another left back to tickle my fancy, I would start off. Someone asked me, I'd say 90 mil because that's probably what I would. Because he's not
That's
that
realistic.
If I can get but that's what I mean. A lot of managers aren't realistic, and we're not going to start.
Yeah.
But you know what I'm talking about.
But I think as well, like if I'm using my own, for example, I wanted, and I think he's a mid to top player because of his attributes. Douglas Luiz. I wanted. Just listen. I know there's a lot out there, but I wanted what I paid for him. Now, eventually, I've sold him for less, but
yeah, there you go.
In that long run, I had a valuation in my head. I know how much he is worth in the market. I was willing to go down to that valuation. I actually got more than I asked for, but I'll take it. But do you know what I mean? I'm willing to go down to value, and that's what some managers don't understand. And Steve, you probably come up against this or have done this yourself, where in your head you're going, well, I can ask for an extra 30 million here, and if I get 15 of that, I'll take it and I'll walk away. Like you must have done that at some point yourself.
Yeah, and the other thing is, because you can see everyone's budgets, if somebody comes in for a player and they're loaded, hang on a minute, and everybody's done it, and you can see,
afford that.
He's got 300 million. He can get another 15 out of him. And to be fair, you see it a lot because I've had people offer me a player at a price, and let's say it's 60 mil, and then 20 minutes later, you've noticed they've gone for 85, and that person that's bought him's got more money. So I think it all depends on different things. And if you sell one of your players for more than you wanted, you'll pay more than you want for the next one.
For the next player, knock-on effect. Yeah, I agree with that.
Well, I think a lot of people, from my own experience as well, I don't know if you lads have ever done this, but I've definitely done this in the past. I've done that this window, actually. I shouldn't really be telling you this, but I purposely made at least 2 managers wait to announce any transfers. One of them, you know who it was for. It was the Haaland deal. I'd done the Haaland deal about 5 hours before, and I made sure I made my signings and put myself closer into debt because I knew what I was getting because it was already agreed. Because I wanted to make sure for them players I wasn't getting overpriced, and I didn't.
Yeah, I did it.
I'll tell you what.
This window.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, though. There's a lot of managers do that because I'll tell you now, I've done that more than I've been doing that. It was one person who told me, I'm not going to say his name, but he's a legend in terms of he's left now, but he's a legend in terms of transfers in this league. He told me to do that on my second window, and I've done it ever since because it works.
Yeah,
you don't want to get priced out of players.
Yeah, it makes sense. It makes sense completely. You've got to cut. You've still got to, because even if you think it's a good deal, you don't want them to think, he's getting that. Do you know what I mean, or paying that. But to be fair, a lot of managers now, I think, where we've got a lot closer, we're a lot more open about it anyway. Like there's not that much to hide. There shouldn't be that much difference. I mean, it's sort of the same with, I spoke to Steve about Tchouaméni, and then Shane knew that I was buying Tchouaméni after he spoke to Steve because it was like a triangle. It was like a triangle deal. So
there was loads of them going on. I remember talking to Louis about a player, and then I was talking to, it might have been Shane, and I wanted both of them. So I was trying to make a deal for both. And then it turned out that they were trying to make a deal if I bought one of their players to buy the other one. So then when they figured it out, I was trying to buy both. They both turned around and said, "Oh, no, we're not going to do the deal now." So yeah, it's when they start talking, it's a bit triangle or yeah.
But then, like you said about it takes one deal to blow the window open and people start overpricing. I think it had the opposite effect this window when you bought Garnacho, when you obviously done that deal with Furman, got him a lot cheap.
Yeah, that was unbelievable.
People thought, shit, maybe I need to bring my prices down a little bit. If
you know what, when he sent me that price, because of what had happened before with the pissed up Donnarumma signing a few years ago.
So, we need to talk about that.
Yeah, let's not. But when that happened, and when he said to me 64 million, I thought, is there another Garnacho on the database I'm not seeing? And I checked it about 3 times before I actually said, yeah, right, I'll take him. Because yeah,
I mean, I think that's good of people like Furman. Like he knows what he wants. He's not going to sit here and be like, oh, I need to make the money back. Because I mean, he sends me his draft lists because he's obviously over in Asia way, so he sends me his draft picks. So I know what he picks, and then never like when he sent me the Garnacho one, I was like, bloody hell. Usually it's like, well, what was it, Cameron Archer this window?
Yeah, Cameron Archer.
I'll get loads of random players that I've never heard of, but they seem to work well in his system, which is what he wants. So
it's pretty good because if you're comparing your price you paid last window, we know everyone in the database is overpriced, and I think you can't really use that as a pricing.
That's definitely taught me a lesson. So at that, what Furman did, I thought, oh, actually, he's got a point here. Because if he could sit around and try and sell him or try and build up the money, but he knew what he wanted. He had his targets elsewhere, and he got it. So that's how windows should be.
Yeah, I mean, just before we move on to transfers, please, can you tell the story of the Donnarumma?
Oh, mate.
There's a rumor about Donnarumma. That should have been a podcast.
Yeah, I think it was my second transfer window in the league. And I remember it was on a Sunday. And I think I was doing like a roast dinner or something. And I was on the whiskey and I was pretty leathered. And I saw in the chat, he put in Donnarumma for 25 million. So in a blind panic, I messaged him. I was like, I'll have him. And he was like, you sure? I was like, yeah. Anyway, about 2-3 hours later, I looked and I must have had 100 messages on the league. And then I looked and it was Donnarumma's brother. And do you know what makes it worse? They were both goalkeepers. So I didn't even click straight away. And it wasn't until the morning when I'd sobered up, I'd spent 25 million on a proper dud. So to be fair to Gary, in all fairness, I think it was 2 seasons after that, he actually gave me him for 25 million.
Oh,
just to sort of, but yeah, for 2 seasons, I had his dud brother just rotting on the bench. So I've made a rule now: I do not drink on any transfer window.
Oh, that's just boring. But
was he under 23?
I think he was about 21. I was well happy.
At least it filled a slot though for one of you guys, I suppose.
Honestly, I at that point I thought I'm gonna have to leave the chat here. I was getting absolutely smashed.
Brilliant.
It's brilliant. So moving on to more recent transfers within your FMSL life. We've obviously talked about the Garnacho deal. That is a great deal. Now, the swap deal with Destiny Udogie and Alphonso Davis, what was going through your mind there?
So last season, I think Davis probably was the main issue for me conceding goals. He gave the ball away a lot. He's good if you want someone attacking and you can cover him behind, but actually going back, he was just a liability out of the 4 defenders. And I think I was only looking to swap. I wasn't really looking to sell because you guys know when you look in the database, there's not many fullbacks in there that are worth trading for. So Alan came in and said, would I do a swap? But compared the two, I think Udogie's a bit more defensive than Davis. And then actually, to be fair, since we've done that, played a couple of games and they look a bit more solid. I'm not giving the ball away as much from left back. So I'm reasonably happy with that, to be fair.
Yeah, I think it's a great. I was wanting to come in for Davis or Udogie, but I think it's one of those where you can kind of hoo and haw over what you need. I mean, just looking at the rest as well, like Ansu Fati for, is that a typo? Sorry, 50 grand.
No,
it's 70 million and 50 grand. It should be 50 million.
Yeah, it should be. Yeah.
No, well,
hang on, that's not even. Hang on, let me just change that.
Yeah, I'm just
20 million.
I'm just looking there.
So it's
and then Lacroix moving to Real Betis, 25 million.
See, that was another one. So I actually messaged Steve about Lacroix, and he said he wanted 25 million. And Alan was doing balance window for him, and he had Jonathan Tah. Now Tah was my main target. He's the one I wanted. And when I sold Havertz, I thought, right, I'm going to go get Tah, because I was going to buy Lacroix, who's pronounced it. And then it's one of them ones where I'd bought Tah, and then 2 minutes later, Howard announced that he bought Lacroix for Betty. So another little triangle going on there.
Yeah. I never used him. I didn't use him all last season. I've got Murillo, who's coming through. I think he's 22. So it just made sense to let him go.
Yeah, and then just looking at the rest, you've brought in Meslier.
Yeah, I think it was.
Who did you bring him in from?
That's fucked up as well.
That's fucked up as well, yeah.
But that doesn't matter. It's a permanent deal.
8
million.
Yeah. To be fair,
is he to start or just a backup?
Yeah, Fabianski retired, so I just needed a half decent backup. And 8 million, I wasn't going to get much cheaper on the draft. Yeah. So
I mean, I love that Fabianski was still going. Like, that's impressive. To be fair, that is actually so quite impressive. And then I think for the rest of saying that,
I actually want to ask a question. Yeah, but Davy, who and what is that about? Because 19.5 million, Isaac.
Yeah. So he was on the database. He was a free, but he was actually from Andy at PSV.
Yeah.
But if looking at his positions, he could play. So I've dropped from wingers or 3 up top to wide midfielders. And actually, he can play right, left, and he can also play wingers, but also in attacking mid. So he was more of a squad fill, but also I think he's got quite a good PA as well. So the potential for an on-sell value as well. So
nice. I was interested because I've not actually seen anything of the guy. Obviously, the Tushimeni deal we've previously talked about. Buying João Pedro in. João Pedro, now I played against you in a friendly, and João Pedro was pretty decent. Is he the main man for you now?
He is, but the only reason I bought him is because last season, I think there was 4 games in a row I missed a penalty. And I tried different takers, and every one just missed. So I thought, I need a decent penalty taker. João Pedro's pretty good. And to be fair, I think the first game I tried, he scored a penalty. So,
perfect.
Yeah, he's got the ability to be up there, hasn't he? So,
well, all I'm saying is at least you didn't spunk your load and spunk 255 million on Isak, who can't score a penalty.
Yeah, some big money for some players. I mean, 250 million for Isak, you can get a lot else.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Could have got Haaland for that.
No, he couldn't have done it.
But yeah, there's more than enough strikers about to get and have some change to buy a centre midfielder, probably.
Yeah, and that Pedro deal was perfect. I thought it was a great value deal as well. Another one where you're not overspending for players that you know will make a difference in your team, will bring something that you wanted to change within your team, i.e. penalty taking.
Yeah, I mean, you've got Raspadori as a backup to him, so pretty good. But and I want a bit of pace. And with Garnacho, I think there was is it Sewell brought in as like a right winger midfielder. He was pretty young as well.
84 million. I'm just looking at your draft picks there. That's his first pick. Great pick. I I believe he was on the transfer list in the database. Is that correct? Is that why it was? Or he was just?
Oh, I don't know. Don't know.
Yeah, it's a great signing on a permanent. Love that. And then, do you remember your next signing? A great signing in the draft.
Oh, was it Noah Darvic?
Yes, 41 million from Barcelona. Great midfielder, young, high PA. Just will come on really. You'll get your value at 41 million. I mean, how's he played for you in game? I know you've only played 2.
Yeah, to be fair, I just leave him on the bench because I've got Onana, who's come on massively. I couldn't believe the development that Onana had since last season. And then I've got, I think, is it Guerrera? 22-year-old Spanish midfielder.
Javi.
Yeah, Guerrera. Yeah, something like that. He's starting to play quite well. And then I got an Italian young lad as well, Moretti.
Oh, from Juventus, yeah.
Yeah, and to be fair, I wasn't going to sell Chimini, but as soon as I put it in the group, and it was just a random, I'll sell him for 200 something million, and then I got people messaging. I thought I can't back out of it now. I'm going to have to do it, aren't I? So,
hey, you can always back out, my friend. You can always back out.
I wouldn't have minded. I wouldn't like. To be fair, it wasn't my plan to sell the guy. He progressed quite well, like Onana did, and obviously Havertz wasn't in the situation. But sometimes when it just comes, you think, you know what? Let's just do it. Let's just do the deal. He's offered what I wanted. Let's just, do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm reasonably happy with the team I got this season. I think it'll be a bit more solid than I was last season. I think last season I either won by a couple of goals or I got battered, to be fair. And I think I played Niall and I can't beat him with his 3 up front. Every time I've played him, I can't beat him. So last season I thought I'm going to try it. Had a little bit of success, but then I think people were just playing counter. And then I was just getting picked off every time on the counter attack. So this season, I think we're going to play a bit more counter attacking anyway.
Yeah, that always works. Like you say, against Niall, seems to have an amazing record, but it's more positive, and it is to do with that. You play that many people as strikers as well. It's not like he's got them working on the wings or anything like that.
No.
So as soon as they push forward, you win that ball, boom, see you later.
Yeah,
a bit like the goal you scored the other day against me. That counter was unbelievable. You picked it up. It was, I think I had a corner, and you picked it up from the area, played it out wide, switched it across, cut the ball across to the other side. He come back in. The geezer who passed it over to the wing, run up, boom, goal. It was lovely.
So I'm hoping that'll get me some, at least in the playoffs this season.
I think I just says to you before we came on air, you are probably there or thereabouts, in terms of going up. You were there or thereabouts last season as well. So I think there's pretty good chance you were going to go up next season. I think
it's just
it's one of these things though. It's the league. Like I'm saying this now, I predicted Craig Parker at Wolves to go win the Prem. I predicted you to go up. But look at last season. We didn't know. I don't think anybody even had Ross in the top 5, and then all of a sudden he's went and won the league. So it changes. I mean, Anish held the league for quite a while, and then all of a sudden he played Aid and he knocked him off his stride completely, and then he finished in the playoff position. So
problem is when you win a lot of games and then you get beat, you tend to maybe tweak something or change something.
You panic.
You lose it. Yeah. And then all of a sudden you spiral off then.
What's going on? You're throwing things out the way. Oh, mate, we've all been there.
Attacking, defensive, and then you just get beat.
Sometimes you just got to keep it the way it is and just keep going. Anish does it quite a lot when people say about him pausing and stuff, people tweaking in games. It's just for me, I just want to get the game over and done. What will be, will be. If FM wants you to lose, you're losing, mate. It don't matter. It doesn't matter what you do.
I think obviously there is stuff that you can do to combat that.
Obviously, within reason.
You're
yourself. You're fighting yourself. You're starting to tweak things and try and change things, and then they start pausing. You're like, "What are they doing? I'm gonna have to change something." And then, do you know what I mean? Sometimes you just gotta let it go. Just let it play out.
Yeah, you can mess about with it too much, can't you? And then it just goes completely wrong. And sometimes it's just against you. You know what it's like. You can be 3-1 up at half time.
Yeah.
Straight after half time, someone scores, and you know this is going to be 4-3. And you can just see each goal go in, and you're just like, no. It doesn't matter what you change. Just take it on the chin.
Yeah. So let me just quickly, let's see, Cam's itching to get on. If we just quickly talk about your last 2 draft picks. So is it Ali Cho, the striker from Nice? Great sign. I'm guessing that was a young striker just to bring on, develop, see how he goes for the money. Quite a good value as well, 27 million.
Yeah, again, pre-pacey, got good finishing, and I think his PA is about 180. So again, it was more around some sort of resale value there, and I'm surprised he lasted until he did.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was happy to get him for 20 million.
Yeah, nice. And last one, I think, was this just, I mean, you still have 60.7 million in the bank ready for next season, not including your future fees. You're going for Alex Scott, former FM Wonder Kid.
Yeah, and probably because he can play either DM, straight in centre midfield with a bit of attacking, or you can play him attacking midfielder. So again, if you look,
solid pick.
Yeah, I think that I can probably resell him for either what I paid for him, if he doesn't advance, or get a little bit more. So it was worth just getting him in.
He's a name as well, isn't it? In the FM world, Alex Scott's quite a popular name. So I was surprised that he lasted as long as he did.
Yeah.
I think I was as well, to be fair. Like, he when I seen it, I went, ooh, that's a good one. I could have probably went for him, but I didn't. But that's life. You know, that's life.
Yeah, I was toying with keeping 200 million in the bank for next window, but yeah, I thought, let's just spend it.
Yeah,
that would have been fun.
Why not?
But
I just want to quickly pick up on the last 2, and I think, the last 2 transfers which were outgoing. Fulkrug and Somerville going to Lyon on a free.
Yeah.
Fulkrug, yeah, fair enough. But in terms of, he's a bit, he must be about 34, 33, 34.
32.
32? God,
Yeah.
I think he's much older than he is in real life then. But, he's not really got any resale value, so fair enough. But Somerville going on a free? Was there no value there at all? Or
I offered him out for about 15 million. Nobody was interested. If somebody had made me an offer of 10, I'd have probably took it. But in the end, I just didn't have any squad spots. So
did he turn 24 as well?
Yeah, I would have lost him anyway.
24. Yeah,
and I think his if I'd have used him on the WeBuy, I think he would have been literally about 5 mil.
Yes.
No way.
And I'd already used them all up. So
fair
enough.
Let him go.
But Chrissy, I think you know what time it is, don't you?
It is 12 minutes past 9, mate.
Yeah, but do you know what time it is?
Oh, I know what time it is. Just getting my phone.
You know what time it is?
Do
you know what time this is?
I have no idea, mate.
Have you done Chrissy's Quickfire quiz before?
No.
You must have heard about it.
Oh, he's saying no, Chrissy. I think you've got to give him the harsh treatment.
Okay, let's go for it. Cam,
you ready?
See, are you ready? So I'm gonna throw some questions at you. Quickfire. I want one or the other. That's all I want. How you play the game, what you like in there. It's how you play the game, what you like within the FMSL cycle, transfer window, and a couple of other cheeky ones. So, Cameron, do you have? He has got it ready. Sorry, I apologise.
It is time to play the game.
You ready, Steve? 3, 2, 1. Advance forward or complete forward?
Advance forward.
Counter press or regroup?
Counter press.
High press or mid block?
Mid block.
Internal or external deals?
External.
Ooh. In swinger or out swinger corners?
In swinging.
Extended highlights or key highlights?
Key.
Oh yes. Fullback or wingback?
Fullback.
FMSL Cup or Heenan Cup or Copperdale FMSL, as Cam wants to call it.
Heenan Cup.
Yeah. Back 3 or back 4?
back four.
Segundo, Volante, or Regista, if you had to
10
pick.
seconds.
Volante.
Haaland or Mbappe?
Oh, Haaland.
And then last one, player attributes or player stats?
Attributes.
Yeah.
Yay! He's not enough.
Congratulations,
Well
Steve.
done.
You've completed the quiz.
Started to sweat then, I was.
Can see it. It's going to be eat. But well, we didn't. I have slightly messed up. I forgot to do track of the week. So,
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Chrissy, do you have one?
No.
No. Steve, do you have a track of the week?
Any track?
Any track.
Sound of Silence by Disturbed.
Oh,
very
that's
nice.
a good tune. That is.
And I'm plugging again, Chrissy. I'm sorry, I'm plugging again. No, I'm not gonna plug. I'm gonna be a very, very good boy. And it is a song that I heard on TikTok, and it's just come out today. It's brilliant. It's a country song. It's by Jake Worthington, and it's called "It
Where's
Ain't
he
the
from?
Whiskey."
South Shields. Oh, right.
No, he's not. No, it's called "Ain't the Whiskey." It's a country song by Jake Worthington. It's fucking brilliant. It's so funny. I've seen it all over TikTok and Facebook and Instagram recently, and I was just like, I listened to a few of his songs and I went, oh yeah, this is good. This is good. But it's just come out today. It's absolutely brilliant. It's so funny. Like the music video for it, top notch.
Every week, it's like one of his friends. I'm like, here's ABBA and here's like loads of different songs. I think
I did do a few different ones. I would have. To be fair, I've been listening to a lot of Coldplay this week. The early Coldplay, not shit new Coldplay. Been listening to the early Coldplay this week. So the other song was "Speed of Sound" by Coldplay.
Nice. Right, Steve, I've got a little thing to talk to you about. It is football related. Obviously, if you'd like to tell the viewers what team you follow, IRL.
Yeah, Coventry.
Big game tomorrow.
Very big game
tomorrow. I'm just looking now. Obviously, Luton away, but should get a nice 3 points out of there.
Oh, that's a win for you. That
no, our away form is awful.
So really, I mean, it will come down to Middlesbrough next week. Now that is massive.
Yeah, the only good thing is we don't lose many games at home. We tend to play 10 times better. And the last time I think we've played Borough 3 times and won 3-0 each time. So I think that's going to be the
Cool. I just realised that you're on 66 points, Middlesbrough's in 7th on 63 points, and Millwall's on 63 points. Wow, that is tight.
Well, you're saying that, Steve, as well, by the way, about your form. So 3-0 Coventry away at Middlesbrough in the first part of the season in November. Yeah. In January, it was January 24, Middlesbrough 1, Coventry 3.
Yeah.
That was last season.
Yeah, 12th. But he said the last 3 times we've played Middlesbrough.
I think it's the last 3 times we've beaten them.
Yeah, you scored 3 goals. I mean, actually, the last 4 times you've played them home and away, you've beat them. You drew with them, and beat them. So you've actually got a much better. You've won 19 and lost 16, whereas they've won 18 and lost 17. So I think you deserve to go up after this year. I've got to say, I mean, I am a Geordie at heart, but I love what Frank Lampard's doing at Cov. I really do. He's just brought fresh air in it. And Mark Robins getting sacked at the start of the season really derailed what you were trying to achieve, and he's just took that on massively.
Yeah, I think the problem was at the start of the season they decided to go a different route with the backroom staff, and they got rid of Adi Vibash, who was the assistant manager, and he's been there years. And actually, as soon as he went, tactically, we were awful. And I think he played a much bigger part in bringing the players on than maybe Mark Robins did. And then they brought in 2 assistant managers. They brought in a massive, I think we went from about 5 backroom staff behind Robins to about 12.
Wow.
And it just wasn't working. And I think a lot of fans kicked off when Robbins went because he's been there for so long and he delivered massive improvements over 7 years. He took us from League Two with no stadium and everything else. But actually, bringing Lampard in, I wasn't too sure at the time.
I was going to ask you.
Yeah, tactically, I think he's much better. Robbins tended to just stick with the same formation, the same players, whereas Lampard will pick players based on the opponent, which makes a big difference.
That's exciting as well, isn't it? That's exciting football. Do you know what I mean? For a manager to do that and not just go for the safety net, to play players that he thinks are going to outperform X and Y or Z. Do you know what I mean? I think that's brilliant.
Yeah. I mean, I never thought we'd get in the playoffs this season. The position we were in when he took us over wasn't great. We had our best player out injured for 4 months. But actually, he's done pretty well, to be fair. So it'd be interesting to see, one, if he stays, because there has been some rumours about Southampton coming in for him.
Yeah, I think he'll stay.
I think he will, because I think he enjoys the club. But it's good at the minute, because I remember going to the games and you had 7,000 or 8,000, and now you're getting 31, 32.
I love it.
And the stadium's got a hell of an atmosphere. So,
yeah, I mean, it's great to see. I hope Coventry do keep up that rise. Like, I really do, because it would be nice to see them back in the Prem. Obviously, there's one place left at it. The minute, if it stayed as it is, you've got Sheffield, the Mackhams, Bristol, and yourselves. And
Bristol play Leeds tomorrow.
If we win these last 2 games, which is what we want to do, we'll end up playing Sunderland. And again, we tend to give Sunderland a bit of an hiding. We played them about 4 or 5 weeks ago, and it should have been 5 or 6 at home. And I think they want to avoid us, but ideally you want them, because then you get to the playoff final and it's a one-off game. You never know. And I think Sheffield United are favourites, aren't they? So
yeah, I think Wilder's got them playing.
They're 1-0 up. They're currently 1-0 up.
Yeah, so you want to try and avoid them as long as you can and get them in a one-off game. And you never know then, do you?
No.
Yeah, well, you know what? Best of luck to Coventry. Best of luck to Super Frank Lampard. And best of luck to you in the rest of your campaign. But thank you for coming on today. It's actually been a long time coming, this podcast. It really has. We've been trying to get you on for quite a while now.
Yeah, it's nice. I really appreciate it.
So we really do appreciate you coming on and having a little talk with me. I think it's been nice to finally get to see the head in person. But it's thank you very much for coming on. It's been a great honour to have you on. You are welcome back anytime.
Yeah, just give me a shout.
Stay. I might also be in your DMs on the 31st of May.
Okay.
So I'll see you there.
So you have to unblock him.
I'll see you there.
Yeah, I'll have to unblock you.
Please don't block me. But thank you very much, Steve, and we will see you later.
Cheers, Steve.
Hang around down there. See you in a bit. So,
that was lovely, wasn't it? That was
lovely. We love Steve.
Just
really
lovely.
do. He's just lovely.
He's great. Do you know what? I didn't get a chance to say with Steve the way he's what's the word I'm looking for? He's just straight to it as a manager. Like he says then, how open he is about his windows, how good he is in the window, and he just loves doing the deals. And he's a model manager. He's always plays his games. He gets them done.
If this league had about 10 Stees in, would be set for life. It'd be great. It would be great. Well, Christopher, thank you very much for partaking in tonight's shenanigans.
Thank you, as always, sir. It's a pleasure. I will speak to you during the week, and
hopefully you'll hang around for 5 minutes. Yeah, but I'll see you soon. Thank you, Chrissy. We will see you later,
brother. Speak to you soon.
So this is the end. Thank you very much to Stephen. Thank you very much to Christopher, and it is a big thank you from me. Please join us for some more episodes very soon. If you have a look down below somewhere, there will be some more videos. Please check them out. If not, they'll be over there somewhere. So have a look. But yeah, thank you very much. There is a spot open in the league. The form's down below. So we will see you probably next week. So take care.